want to be a fireman, you want to fight fires, you're a young guy, young girl, you've been watching on the internet, you Google fire department and everything comes up. There's a lot of Instagram pages, YouTube pages, all sorts of shit, podcasts, vlogs like this one. I'm going to call this one a vlog from now on instead of a podcast. I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing some interviews, call it a podcast again. Anyway, you want to be a fireman, or if you wanted to be your whole life, your daddy was a fireman, maybe your mom was a fireman or something like that, or you seen a fire like I did when I was a kid, or people around you were firemen, and you see the brotherhood and you see the guys and you see all the work and the gear and it looks really fucking cool, right? We look cool in our bunker gear, getting off the rig, riding down, speeding down the street, the lights and sirens going. You feel like you're in a parade, waving at kids. That's what we do, right? That's what you see. That's what you want to be. You want to be part of that. I wanted to be part of that. I loved being part of that. But are you ready? Are you ready? Are you really, truly ready to become a firefighter? A fireman, firewoman? Because there's a lot of things at this job they don't tell you about. It's not all brotherhood, barbecues, and ball breaking. It's a lot of shit on this job that nobody likes to talk about, that they don't warn you about, that you're going to have to see. A lot of shit that all these old timers, including myself, kept to themselves, didn't tell their families, didn't tell their wives or their husbands or their kids about what they saw that day, about what they went into, about how they almost didn't make it home after their tour. How some guys, maybe some of their friends, some of their colleagues, peers didn't make it home. Or maybe that civilian that you couldn't save. Or that baby that was handed to you that you had to do CPR on that you couldn't save. Or the times you go in under the train for people who got hit by a train and you got to deal with that. Shit like that, nobody tells you about. Nobody tells you how you're going to feel. Nobody's going to tell you. Nobody tells you how to deal with that. Nobody tells you how you do deal with that mentally. Nobody tells you. Let's talk about this. Nobody tells you about all that shit that you're going to miss in life in the first bunch of years on the job. All right? It's the greatest job in the world. It really is. It really, truly is the most rewarding job in the world. And you're going to have friends forever. You're going to be proud of the shit that you do if you put your heart and soul into it. But there's shit that they don't tell you that you're going to miss. If you got a family, you're going to miss a lot of holidays, Christmas Eve. Maybe your kids opening their gifts on Christmas morning. You're going to miss a lot of weekends. Maybe your kid's first baseball game or hockey game or something like that. You're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss a lot of shit. I almost missed the birth of my child, my son. I was at the firehouse. Thank God he held out till 3 o'clock, and I was getting off that morning. But I almost missed it. But the guys and girls will cover you as best they can. But when you're a new guy, you are there. It's a change of lifestyle. It truly is. If you're an independent, used to doing your own thing and on your own time, you better be prepared to be at that firehouse or that fire station or wherever it is all the time. You're expected to be there all the time. Picking up tours, working as much as you can, picking up overtime, being there to help cook for an event, being at the boys' night out, being at the game, being at this, stepping up for guys in your battalion that have something going on, being at the picnics, being at everything. It's a completely change of lifestyle. You got a new family, you got new friends, and you're expected to be there. Because if you're not, if you don't want to be there, if you don't want to get involved in that stuff, they're going to think you're a flake and they're going to think you don't want to be there and they're going to think that you're not 100% into this job. And if you're not 100% into the job and everything that comes with it, you might not want that profession. You might want to try something else that's a little more conducive to your lifestyle. If you're not willing to get your fucking hands dirty and go deep into a fire and put your life on the line to put that fire out or to save a civilian or to save one of your brothers, if you're not mentally prepared to do that, I know you're scared to do it. I know you have fear. But if you're not mentally prepared or mentally prepare yourself to do that, to give your life up, possibly, then you might want to think about doing something else. If you're not prepared, if you're not used to the blood and the guts and the shitty part of the job and shit that you've never had to deal with before. Like I said before, somebody handing you an infant, 6 weeks old, and you got to do CPR on an infant. Maybe you just had a kid. Nobody tells you what that feels like. Nobody tells you how you're going to react to that. Losing friends. On duty, guys at 9/11 cancer, it happens. Maybe it starts happening in other battalions and other boroughs, at least for the FDNY. You kind of know that guy. You know people that know that guy. And it doesn't really truly hit home until it does. Until somebody in your battalion, maybe in your house. Somebody that you worked with. Somebody that you caught fire with. Somebody who was at 9/11 who died of cancer. You've seen them deteriorate right before your eyes. Many, many people. And anybody out there listening knows that feeling. But nobody tells you how to deal with that. If you're a young person, you've never had to deal with shit like that before, nobody tells you how you're going to react. Nobody tells you how you're able to deal with that. Nobody tells you that you might need help to talk about that shit. And what did we do as Generation X, my generation? We did what the boomers did. Kept our fucking mouths shut and just dealt with it. And it manifested in anger, violence, drug addiction, alcoholism, self-destructive behavior. That's how it manifested for me. Until I started talking to the guys at the table. And that was my therapy. And if you watch any of my videos, you know how it is. But you have to mentally prepare yourself. And you can't really mentally prepare yourself. If you're going down that fucking hallway and it's fucking scary and hot and claustrophobic and you think you're all by yourself, nobody prepares you for that. They could teach you how to do that. They could teach you how to make a search and find a window and push the nozzle and put water on fire. And you could drill and drill and drill and drill and drill. But then when shit goes bad, the aftermath, nobody teaches you how to drill or train for the aftermath of how you're supposed to feel. There are things in place for you to get help. The guys can talk to you. There's therapists, whatever the case may be, that would work for you. But I'm telling you, if you're not prepared for this, if you don't mentally prepare yourself for this, you could get yourself physically fit, strong, quick, agile, endurance. People tell you got to do that shit. Okay, you can prepare yourself to do that. But when shit really hits the fan, when shit really hits home, when possibly you're caught in a collapse or somebody you know is caught in a collapse, you're at a job that just goes bad and you lose a few people. Or you have to go to the firehouse because somebody in your firehouse when you weren't working was seriously injured or, God forbid, killed. Nobody teaches you how to be prepared for that. I'm telling you, it's a hard thing. There's a lot of fun in this job. It's very rewarding. It's the most rewarding job. Helping people out, being beside your brothers and sisters, putting a fire out, doing all that stuff. It's very rewarding. But there's a lot of dark shit that comes with a job like this. And you need to be prepared. You need to really, truly dig deep and think about if this is really what you want to do and deal with. Because you don't bring any of that stuff home to your family. You never do. All this stuff that I just said, I never brought this stuff home. I never told anybody. They found out secondhand. They finding out now. So I'm telling you to change your lifestyle. If you're not used to hardships and not being home a lot and not being with your kids and not being with your family, especially the first bunch of years, you might want to think about something else. If you're not mentally preparing yourself to the hardships of the job, the death, the blood, the guts, the fear, then think about it. Think twice. All right? I'm at my 10-minute mark, and that's good enough for me. Remember, it must be true if you heard it at the kitchen table. See ya.